Let's have another podcast about how there's actually not two different Yosefkas, it's one Yosefka, and she changes personality.
Oh my god, okay.
Theory.
Yes.
That's a great theory that I never get tired of hearing.
Yeah, I'm all for it. We should do that.
Or that Yosefka was always evil all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those together. Yeah. She doesn't actually change personalities, she's herself.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Welcome to Shame Theory.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Sinclair.
So, today, we're going to record about something very interesting.
What is it?
I just decided we're recording about the League.
I didn't hear that because you got cut off.
I just decided we're recording about the League.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have to keep whispering?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like 10 to 6 for you at the moment.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You woke up at. Well, basically, you said you needed to record with me at 5 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
And it turned out that was just because you you needed a reason to get up early.
Yeah.
So I'm like your alarm clock now.
Yes.
Okay.
Art Witch Frenzy asked if we could do an episode on the League.
Okay.
And I realized we don't have an episode on the League.
No.
Yeah. Which is peculiar because the League is pretty interesting.
What do you think is interesting about the League?
Well, there's a guy who wears a bucket.
Yep.
That's pretty interesting.
Yep.
There's a hole in the bucket, but only one single hole.
Yeah, because his other eye is all rotten.
Really? That's why? I thought he was trying to be a minimalist.
Well, he might use that as his excuse. It's like minimalist, but really it's because he's going blood drunk. So his other eye is rotting.
Why didn't he make, like...
An eye patch?
Yeah. Yes. Why didn't he make an eye patch?
I can't remember if we talked about this, like, on a podcast or if it was just on a stream, but, like, Volta's helmet is based on, presumably anyway, based on a real guy's helmet.
Oh yeah, we
so
talked
I think they
about
just
it.
saw,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think they just saw Ned Kelly's helmet and thought, yeah, that works.
Okay, well, explain to people who Ned Kelly is.
Ned Kelly was an Australian outlaw. He's like an outlaw folk hero. He'd be similar to someone like Jesse James. And he robbed a bunch of banks, basically. And he's this iconic figure, and he made a helmet like Volta's. He had an iron, like bucket-shaped helmet, and then he had an iron, basically made like a bulletproof vest for himself out of iron. He would wear those during robberies, so the police couldn't shoot him because the bullets wouldn't go through the iron. So yeah, he basically just made his own iron armor and held up a bunch of banks.
Mm-hmm.
And that very, like, the bucket design is, like, it's very iconic. It's very popular in Australia. You see Ned Kelly stuff everywhere. So,
oh yeah,
like, and he was like around the same time period as like Bloodborne stuff, like kind of Victorian. So,
oh, that's pretty cool.
When they were looking into research, they probably just found out about him and copied his helmet.
Mm-hmm. So the League has other members as well.
Yes.
Who are they?
Yamamura,
Mm-hmm.
Henrik, and is there a fourth one? Oh, the Medeiros twins. Yep.
Oh yeah, and we have a whole episode on the Medeiros twins.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Characters we just forgot they existed, but we've also got an episode on them.
Oh, it's an episode where I school you about some lore. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I like how I remember that you lost an audio, and I remember the episodes where I schooled you.
Yeah.
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 Good times. So, okay, well, tell me about each one of those characters.
Henrik's interesting because with Henrik, he was a character in the base game before there was a League, because the League was added with the Old Hunters DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So Henrik was Gascoigne's partner, and the DLC just sort of makes him part of the League. It's never mentioned beforehand. And it's never mentioned if Gascoigne was part of the League either. But Henrik is summonable, but he's only summonable if you let Eileen kill him earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
They're sort of odd about how that works, because you can only summon Henrik if you beat him. But with the Medardus twin, I think you can only summon him if you haven't beaten him. It's like Henrik has to be dead, but the Medardus twin has to be alive. And yeah, the League are the attempt at making a co-op thing.
Like,
I almost called it a covenant, and then I realized no, it's not called a covenant. And
No?
if you call it a covenant, you are worse than Hitler. So, as I'm led to believe,
why is it not a covenant?
because they're called oath runes, not covenants.
Oh.
And every time if I ever refer to something as a covenant, I get well, actually, it's not called that. It's actually called an oath rune. You swear an oath, you don't join a covenant. It's good because, like, swearing an oath and forming a covenant are basically the same fucking thing. But anyway. Are you still there?
Yeah? Can you hear me?
Oh no, she's disappeared.
I'm
Hello?
here. I'm here. I see myself light up. check the Discord. Look, I'm here. Waving. Okay, I call back.
Yeah, I can see you light up too, but I can't hear you. Okay, you call me back.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now, because I can hear, like, static. Yeah.
You can hear static?
Yeah.
What?
No, I could hear you. Don't worry, I can hear you now, it's fine.
Yeah, but there's no static around here.
No, I could hear static when it started connecting.
Oh, okay. Alright, cool. So what were you saying?
That the younger Medardus twin is part of the League.
Okay. But not the older one?
Well, the one you summon is the younger one.
Right.
And presumably, like, that's the one you summon, and then the one you find in the Hunter's Nightmare who's dead is the older one.
Okay. So what? Okay. And who's the other person who's in the League?
Yamamura.
Yamamura. Oh, well, Yamamura is an interesting one.
Go on.
Because you know how Chester could be foreshadowing Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Yamamura is...
foreshadowing Derasine.
No!
No, you think he's not, but then we don't know enough about Derasine, and it'll turn out that there's just a wandering samurai who, like, works as a groundskeeper.
Groundskeeper Willie.
Yes.
Well, no, you know what I wanted to say. Is foreshadowing Sekiro.
Okay. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll find Yamamura in Sekiro?
Well, we didn't find Chester in Bloodborne.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Should we go back and see if Yamamura has a mechanical arm?
Well, I don't think he does, and they don't mention it.
But how well did you really check?
Well, that's the thing. They don't say he doesn't have a mechanical arm.
Oh, so it could be 50-50.
I'd say, yeah, probably even more than that. I'd say he definitely has a mechanical arm.
Okay. So what's the point of the League?
To crush and expel all vermin.
Why?
Okay, hang on, here we go.
Yeah.
I finally sorted out the stupid Madara's twin thing. Henrik is only summonable if you beat Henrik in Central Yharnam.
Okay.
And the Madara's twin is only summonable if you haven't killed him. So I have no idea how that works.
Okay, but who cares, Richie?
Well, you're the one that wanted to do a podcast on it.
Yeah, not on who's summonable when, on the League.
Yeah, but no, this is what I mean. That, like, there's two people in the League, but the rules governing them are completely opposite to each other.
Okay, well, they're individuals. They can have their own rules.
I was going to talk about Volta as well, but apparently that doesn't count now.
Okay, well,
Because Volta is both. Because Volta, his appearance is different depending on whether he's alive or dead. Oh, I think I get it now, actually. I think it does make sense. Because if Henrik's blood drunk and he dies, then he would pass on into the Hunter's Nightmare. And Volta looks like he's blood drunk, and he'd pass on into the Hunter's Nightmare. So maybe the Madara's twins aren't blood drunk. And that's why when you kill them, they don't pass on into the nightmare, so you can't summon them.
So I made you have a revelation.
I don't know. I don't think it actually makes very much sense in
No.
retrospect.
I think you should thank me.
Okay. Thank you, Sinclair.
You're welcome. Okay, so now tell me, what's the point of the League?
Well, Volta says what the point of the League is, which is that they're going to expel all the vermin and filth.
Why?
Can I get his exact dialogue? Oh, it's interesting, because it says the Iron Helm is passed down from... Okay, so this is the thing. Volta is a police officer, right? And he comes to Yharnam with a bunch of other police officers to hunt a beast.
Uh-huh.
Now, all of Volta's set is called the Constable set, except the helmet.
Okay.
And then the helmet, if you look at it, it says this was passed down among the Masters of the League.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if, like, there was another Master of the League when Volta showed up and he was given the helmet by them.
I see, yeah. Yeah, that's very possible.
But it also says that it says that the impurity rune is the symbol of the League and it was discovered inside of Volta. But it also says, like, it came to symbolize the Oath of the League. So maybe they existed beforehand. Maybe the League were like an offshoot of the Hunters or something. Because it's odd that you don't hear about them. They may have been like they may have been like... Oh, actually, when you think about it, like, the Volta's part of the League. The Madara's twin is in the League and they lived in Forbidden Woods. And, like, Yamamura's part of the League and he's not from Yharnam. So it may be like the League were foreign hunters or something. But they were like another group of hunters who were all from outside of Yharnam, and that was the deal with them. That they were going to clean up beasts but not be part of the Healing Church. Although, weirdly, Yamamura does have that prayer about the Healing Church.
Do you think they're called the League because they play League of Legends professionally?
Well, isn't the League in League of Legends like the people playing it?
I don't know, I never played League of Legends. I only saw memes.
Good. Should we point out to everyone again that, like, this wasn't planned?
It's okay, I'll put this on Patreon. We can have a good one later.
Good. Yep.
Okay. And so if you equip this rune, you won't be able to chill with the people from the Vileblood Covenant.
No, that's fine.
It's not fine.
Oh, the other one is Yamamura. Yamamura is only summonable if he dies.
We've passed this. We don't care who's summonable when they die today, Richard.
Go on.
Why doesn't the League like the Vilebloods?
They don't have anything... No, you're thinking of the Executioners.
No, if you put on the League, you can't chill with the Vilebloods, can you?
No, it's the Executioners who can't chill with the Vilebloods.
I swear to God, if I Google right now, League and Vilebloods, and I find that if you put on the League rune, you can't chill with the Vilebloods, I'm gonna lose it.
What does chill mean in this context?
It's like if you summon someone and they have the Vileblood rune and you have the League rune, you can't co-op. You have to PvP.
I'm pretty sure it's just execution.
You better be right. You better pray to God. Say your prayer to Gwen to make sure that you're right now.
No, I'm praying to Meph, who is the closest thing we have to God.
That's
and
true.
her wiki does say that it's just Vilebloods and Executioners who are hostile. It's confusing because the Vileblood rune is called Impurity, and they hunt corruption, and then the Cainhas rune is called Corruption, and their blood is impure. So maybe if the Executioners were being if they were a bit confused, maybe if they got up at 5 a.m. or something, and it had been a tiring week, they might confuse the two.
Maybe they might. Okay, so what is the point of the damn League?
We just went over that.
No, it's like you're reading, but in your soul, in your heart, what does it tell you?
My heart of hearts as I dream every night about Volta.
Yes.
And listen to my ASMR helpful Volta crushes vermin videos.
Yeah.
The point of the League, right, is that Volta eats a beast for some reason. And when he does so, he has this epiphany that the root of the impurity of Yharnam's blood is these, vermin things that live inside the blood, like these parasites. So the point of the League is not only are we killing beasts, we're also finding these vermin parasites that are inside them, and we're killing those as well. And that's you're dealing with what he sees as this is... We're not just going to deal with the symptoms, we're going to look at what the cause is, and the cause is these parasites. But the game itself is kind of cagey about, what the exact... It doesn't really posit a chicken-egg relationship, because it seems like these things just are in blood that is bad. So it's not that they seem more like a symptom than a cause. If your blood is foul and stagnant, then you get vermin in it. So... I mean, killing the vermin isn't going to stop that, but it might stop it getting worse. Maybe because the thing is, the vermin that you see, the vermin that are explicitly identified as vermin that Volta crushes look like centipedes, but there's also those worm things that crawl around on the ground, and there's the ticks that are in the snakes in Forbidden Woods, and I think they're supposed to be vermin too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess the League are it's like giving Yharnam a flea bath. It's like getting rid of all these parasites.
But isn't it you can only see the parasites if you're in the League?
Yeah, that's because that's what the Carol rune does. It gives you this it's this epiphany where you can see these things. But it says specifically that because Volta's so far gone, he can't see them anymore.
Hmm.
I think the idea is that Volta is succumbing to blood drunkenness.
So parasites are a real thing. It's not something he imagined.
Well, they definitely. Well, it depends on how you see it, because like the like maggot things that crawl around and live inside beasts are indisputably like those things do exist. They're not an insight thing. And the ticks on the snakes in Forbidden Woods exist regardless. The only thing that you need the rune to see is the little centipedes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go grab a drink. I will be back.
Okay.
Okay, I will be back.
The sounds of Sinclair.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, so there's a thing that says... Oh my god! Richie, did you know about this?
What? I don't know what you're talking about because I can't see your screen.
There's a secret compartment in Walter's cane?
Yeah. That's got the lists of all the people in the league on it.
Really?
That's how you check, like, it's like a leaderboard. It sees everyone who's in the league is on that, and if you use it, you can see who's crushed the most vermin.
Who has the least life? Can we see who it is now?
Well, when I played last, it was someone called The Joy, who was someone with the Moonlight Greatsword who just camped out in front of the Bloodstarved Beasts arena.
Why did they camp out there?
Because I think they could just really easily kill the Bloods. They had, like, all these cursed gems and shit, and they would just... They would just, like, 1 or 2 shot the Bloodstarved Beast, like, over and over again to get their vermin count up.
Oh.
It's not... I remember when the game first came out, there was an item dupe glitch that was eventually patched out. So the top Vile Blood people were just people who duped Blood Dregs, like, thousands of times. But they patched that out and you can't do it anymore. So, I don't know. I don't know if you can, like, do that with the vermin.
Okay. Well, here it says, there shall be no sympathy for those engaged in the bloody mission of the League, no matter that an oath must be taken to uphold the illusion. What's the illusion?
Are you talking about the staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on, I'll just open it. The best thing about the staff is if you do the pose and then you put the camera like above you, it looks like you're taking a selfie.
Oh, maybe that's the other compartment. It's a selfie stick.
Yeah, I don't know what that fucking means at all. There shall be no sympathy for those engaged in the bloody mission of the League.
Yeah.
Which implied that.
Yeah. So it's...
I don't know, maybe it's meant to be like there shall be no sympathy for those, like, who the League are hunting. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it seems like it should be like there shall be no sympathy for enemies of the League or something. Or for beasts.
Or maybe it's meant to be like the people in the League aren't sympathetic toward each other, but they take an oath to pretend that they are. That's what it means, like the oath's taken to uphold the illusion. Like the illusion is that there's actually like they're actually some sort of league, when in reality they're just like maniacs. Because you do kill like several of them.
So what if it's like a plot twist? Walter is actually an insider who's trying to exterminate people in the League.
He doesn't do a very good job, if he is.
No.
No.
He only has one eye and a bucket on his head.
But when he takes the bucket off, he has beautiful flowing hair.
Maybe... Oh my god, Richie!
Yeah.
Okay, you know, sometimes what I do is that I have, what is it, cocoa butter? And I do a cocoa butter mask on my hair, but like I have to put like something onto the top of my head, otherwise it's gonna leak everywhere.
Does having a perfectly flat head make that easier or harder?
It makes it easier because you can put your like oily hair on your head and then cover it. But if I had a bucket with a hole for eyes, I would probably wear that to make sure that my hair doesn't go everywhere and that the cocoa butter doesn't get like all over the things in my apartment. So maybe that's what this is for.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so he put some cocoa butter, shea butter on his head.
Yeah.
And so he put the bucket on top of it so that like when he walks around, because if you put a lot, it can like easily drip everywhere. So he has it so it doesn't drip everywhere.
Oh my god, that makes perfect sense, right? Because what happens is when you finish the League thing, Volta just disappears and the helmet's lying there. And then when you summon him, he's got the perfect hair. So clearly what happens is when you finish the League mission, he's done with the hair. So he doesn't need the bucket anymore. And he just leaves, and he's not actually dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's what the Madara's twin attacks you because he's like, no, I have to do my hair next.
Yeah.
Finally. Do you think the League all went to like the same salon together? And they're all like sitting in a row.
Yeah, with those giant
getting their hair done. Yeah.
Yes.
That's honestly not far off some of the fanfic I've seen.
So the clothes that Vulture is wearing, they look like cop clothes.
Yeah, it's a police uniform. It's like a 19th century police uniform.
Yeah.
If you just look up 19th century police uniforms, they all basically kind of look like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's modeled on a specific one. I've heard people say it's modeled on like a Meiji one, but it also just looks like a Victorian England one. Like it's...
Yeah, they all look like Vulture. And look, this guy also has a head on his head. And I think that's also to get that perfect Vulture hair.
Yeah?
Yeah, look. Do you see?
That's beautiful. Yep.
Yeah. All of them
do. You want to talk
actually.
About, he's got a little, the little thing clipped to his belt is like a lantern.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that.
That's it, it's just a little lantern. Oh. People were wondering what it was, because it looks... No one knew what it was, but it's a little personal lantern.
Maybe it's a cell phone.
For if someone finds Vermin, they can just text him.
Yeah.
Okay, if you crush Vermin, right, and he's not around, he still knows. So maybe he gets an alert. He gets like an app on there that's telling him who's crushed Vermin.
Yeah, exactly.
So now that we know Henrik was in the League, do you think Henrik was going to kill Gascoigne because he knew Gascoigne had Vermin in him?
Henrik was not going to kill Gascoigne.
Eileen's almost blood drunk. Do you think he was going to kill Eileen?
No. What are you talking about?
Because Henrik's in the League, so maybe that says something about his motives.
What? No.
Yeah, this isn't as good as the Salon theory, is it?
No, this makes no sense. The Salon theory makes sense. The coconut oil butter bucket makes sense. This makes no sense.
Yep. What about it specifically?
Why would Henrik kill Gascoigne?
Because members of the League are supposed to go around killing things that have vermin in them.
Well, I killed Gascoigne first. There's no vermin in him.
Yeah, there is, if you have the corruption rune equipped. Like impurity.
If you have that rune equipped, you think vermin is everywhere.
Do you think that means Henrik has it equipped? Because then he would see vermin everywhere.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What does he say during his boss fight?
Nothing. He says nothing.
Gascoigne says a lot.
Henrik.
I said Gascoigne!
Oh, fine.
God damn it.
Okay, Gascoigne says the sweet blood, oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man sick, which suggests that he may be a little blood drunk. Do you want to talk about blood echoes?
Okay, fine.
We don't have to.
No, fine. Let's talk about blood echoes.
I figured out, like, with the help of what the fuck blood echoes actually are.
Oh, yeah?
So it makes sense. Oh, now you're interested.
Well, you said she's intelligent.
Okay, so the name that's given to blood echoes in Japanese is like chi no ishi, which people were translating as like the wish of the blood, as though the blood was sentient and like there's some, like you're somehow inheriting, like the blood has a purpose and you're following it. But it's not that. It's more like the wish for the blood, because that possessive it doesn't always mean of, it can also mean for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the wish for blood. So what's happening is that as you kill shit and like find cold blood and stuff, it's your lust for blood is slowly increasing. Like you're becoming more blood drunk. And what the doll is doing is she's purging that. She's like removing the lust for blood from you.
Oh.
And that's why you don't go blood drunk, but characters who are outside the dream do, because the doll isn't there to remove it from them.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Well, we were talking about the name, because I was saying, like, would bloodlust have been a good translation? She's like, no, because it's not. Bloodlust implies, like, something really extreme. But this is more just, like, you're getting, like, a taste for blood, but it's not, like, overwhelming.
Okay.
She described it as, like, if you walked past a store window and you saw something and thought, ooh, that looks nice. And then, like, you'd forgotten about it 5 minutes later. It's that sort of desire that, like, you have a sort of vague desire for blood that's not, but presumably if it kept going up, you would become blood drunk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's what the doll is somehow converting, like, she's, like, removing your desire for blood from you and turning it into something else.
So she is a vending machine, like I said.
Yes, she's a vending machine.
I said so many, many months ago. It's like you put in echoes and she gives you snacks.
She doesn't give you a snack, though.
Yes,
She's
does.
just like the opposite of that. She's like, if you have too many snacks, you'll end up like Eileen. But yeah, there's no way to do it in English without making the name into, like, an entire sentence.
Maybe they should have.
So I can see why they went with blood echo.
They should have been like blood window shopping.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have understood it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hang on. There are enemies in the game that drop vermin even if you don't have impurity equipped.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, so it's not just impurity that lets you see vermin. There's like, they are just there.
Yeah, just impurity makes you think that vermin is like everywhere. It's like you put on a rune and then you start seeing vermin everywhere and your friends are like, listen, you're exaggerating.
There's some vermin, but there's not that many.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I think some people say that like vermin isn't really real. It's just like you go crazy and you start seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
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 I don't care though. It's early. Gotta go to work soon.
Yep. What a great episode this has been.
Yep.
We got a great Russian noise earlier though. When you didn't want to get out of your chair and you went...
Yeah. You know what I'm starting to feel like sometimes? It's like when you talk and you say stuff, and like 4 months ago, I would have been like, oh my God, that's amazing. I never knew. Wow. And now it's like, oh my God, yeah, you said it like 5 times already. I know.
Yeah, well, this is the problem with doing a podcast about one thing that's 3.5 years old, is that it's pretty much all covered at this point. Like, there's really nothing new that isn't something that was removed from the game and reinserted, like, with hacking.
It's like, no, you still say a lot of things that are like new. It's just like sometimes you start saying things that I already heard, and I'm like, I guess.
Well, this is also a factor of, like, I need an excuse to get up. We're doing a podcast. We'll decide on the topic when I get up.
Well, I didn't decide on this topic. Art Witch Frenzy was like, hey, you guys should do a League episode. I'm like, okay.
Well, don't pass the buck. No. You didn't they decided on the topic. You decided that the topic would be recorded now with no preparation. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that I'm drinking Dr. Pepper?
I heard a can opening. I didn't know what it was, but yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's like 6:30 in the morning.
I could have gotten a Dr. Pepper earlier, but I didn't.
But it's like $3 each where you live.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's $3.50.
What? Richie, 12 Dr. Peppers. $4.
Yeah. But these are, like, imported from America because they don't make it here. That's why it's so expensive.
Oh, that sucks. We should send you care packages or whatever, but it's just Dr. Pepper.
I'll be fine without it. But no, I think if I got too much of it, it would lose its, like, appeal. It wouldn't be special anymore.
Oh, we also have a whole podcast on vermin and stuff somewhere on the channel.
We're going to say we also have a whole podcast on when they released a flavored milk called Gary.
Oh, we have that too.
Yeah. Do you think that was like... That was a watershed moment for the podcast where, like, we just did a whole episode that was nothing to do with any of the Souls games and was just me explaining flavored milk.
Yeah.
And that sort of set us down a dark and dangerous path.
Yeah, well, you set this channel down a dark and dangerous path. It used to be good.
Yeah, well, you're an enabler.
Oh, another thing we're going to have to do is that we're going to have to redo the episode on the Dreamlands.
Why?
Because it's unlistenable, because you're talking into your laptop microphone and I'm recording it on my end.
Yeah.
And it's just another thing that's unlistenable is that episode we did on The Orphan of Cause and Brador.
Yeah, but, like, maybe that shows the evolution of the podcast.
Okay, but we gotta do another one that's listenable.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then an episode on our top 10 waifus.
Who's your top 10 waifu?
Alfred.
Mine is Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone else in the series have any, like, a cool scarf?
Some of them have, like, a cravat kind of thing, like, tied around the neck.
No, it has to be a
but
scarf.
Not a scarf, yeah.
Maybe Yamamura?
Do you want to record this now, or do you want to actually do, like, scarves of Bloodborne?
Oh my god! Also, I seem to be right. Yamamura does seem to have a scarf.
Yeah?
Yeah, we should do an episode on Yamamura.
I think we just did, and that was it.
No, there's a lot. Yamamura, you find him in a nightmare. And Also, he's banging his head on the wall.
Yep, you find him in Mensis, and you find him in the research hall.
Do you?
Yeah. You can summon him. He's not like walking
Okay.
around, but he's there. Okay, Gurman's got a scarf.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a scarf on Gurman's hunter garb. So it would just be the wheelchair version. I don't know if the boss version has it.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah. The Madman garb has like a giant tentacle wrapped around it. It's kind of a scarf. You could wear it like a scarf if you wanted.
It's very avant-garde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, that's going to be an episode.
I think we just did it, though, because that's it.
No, because we should probably look at the scarves of Dark Souls as well.
Are there many scarves in Dark Souls?
I don't know. We'll have to do research. And potentially scarves of Sekiro.
Okay.
And Terracine.
Yep. Terracine with such memorable characters as Lawrence, Maria, and Herman.
And how do you know this?
Because Astral Lace was Oh, actually, no, she translated the names, but then it turned out that, like, they've already released the PSN avatar stuff, and the avatars are called that.
Ah.
It's like Lawrence, but Lawrence is it's like an earlier spelling of Lawrence with like a C. It's like Lorink or something. Mary Herman. And I'm assuming Yulia or Yuria is going to be in there somewhere. I think she's one of the kids as well.
So, do you think, did anybody point out to Miyazaki where it's like, Miyazaki, did you reuse the names? And he's like, no, it's not Gurman, it's Herman. It's completely different.
Naturally, Bellringer Cat has already done fan art of Herman and Gurman meeting each other.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's awesome. So is this
Okay, here are the names, right? It's of course first name is of course Yuria.
Of course.
But it could be Yulia or Julia, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Lawrence, but it looks like it's spelled like with a C on the end. It's like Lorink or something, like an earlier spelling.
Mm-hmm.
Herman.
Of course.
Marie. Rosa. And Niels.
Niels.
So there's one name they haven't used before. It's Niels.
Where did they use Rosa?
Isn't there a Rosa in...
Rosa
Maybe they haven't
Variandel?
used- Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
The old guy is just called Headmaster. So we don't know his name. It might be Willem.
I was about to say it's going to be Williams.
But they did that in Ashes of Ariandel. There was Willem.
Yeah, I didn't get that. You already have a Willem. Give him a different name. Yeah. So anything else on the league?
Oh yeah, the League. That was the subject.
Yeah. The league.
Yep. No, I think well, that doesn't even cover the League. That, like, there was the League and Scarfs and Deracine and Herman. Herman.
Do you know that I noticed that I may be unintentionally predicting content while talking?
Yeah, I have noticed that. I think you have, like, latent psychic powers. Maybe in, like, 500 years, people will, like, look at your Twitter And they'll be like, oh god, she's predicting world events. It'll be like Nostradamus. It's like, what do the snacks represent? Oh, here the Dr. Pepper being drunk represents this politician being assassinated. How did she know?
Maybe the politician will get assassinated with a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Do you think Dr. Pepper will still exist in 500 years?
Yeah, sure, why not? Maybe he'll get his PhD and he'll be a real doctor.
Oh, Lance just messaged me. You want to hear something?
Yes.
You know, at the beginning of the Ringed City, there's that, like, wounded pygmy. It looks like that model is based on the Slug Princess from Bloodborne.
Wow.
Like, they just got that model, gave it a different head.
No, but do you know why? This is what happens when you don't moisturize with cocoa butter.
Oh, it's true, yeah. Do you think that's why she's leaving the Ringed City?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, they say that when Gale gets the blood of the Dark Soul, it's dried out and useless.
That's because they didn't moisturize.
And Filianor, look what happens to her.
Yeah.
The whole series is about moisturizer.
Yes. But you know how they could have been avoided?
How?
If they had cocoa butter and the head bucket.
Yeah, that's why Volta is the only character who comes out of the series with perfect hair.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure his skin must be pretty perfect too.
He's very pretty.
So yeah, he didn't just use the butter for his hair, he used it on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in Yharnam, they probably used blood as moisturizer, and look what happens to them.
Yeah.
Like, their hair is all sticky, they have, like, asymmetrical faces.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, do you think, like, all the stuff growing out of Willem, the back of him, is because his scalp's too oily?
Or not oily enough?
Hmm.
So to save Filianor in the series, what we have to do is just, like, rub some moisturizer on her. Just, like, rub some on her face. She'll be fine.
Does this mean Lance is going to find a cut moisturizer item? Because you'll predict it once again.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes. Yes, he will. Maybe he already has. He just doesn't understand why, and he's not telling anyone.
Have you noticed, like, the doll around her eyes, like, the texture is kind of cracked?
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough moisturizer. It's drying out.
What about the moon presents?
Well, the thing about slugs is, like, they're always kind of moist. So they wouldn't... Maybe that's why they're the great ones, because they've evolved beyond a need for moisturizer.
Oh my god, maybe. And Odin is like, that exists only in voice, and then you hear him be like, bring me moisturizer. Oh, look, Korva's walking around. Yes.
I've said the phrase, this is the worst thing we've recorded. So often it's lost all meaning. But I think this is a candidate.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
The Death Stranding thing was pretty bad.
Yeah, but we at least did that again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Look, Korva came to encourage us. Do you hear him?
Well, to encourage us to stop.
Stop it. Mommy, it's time to stop. He's so cute. He's so soft, Richie. He's so soft.
Did you know if you live in Roanoke, October the 24th is Dr. Pepper Day?
Oh my god. I had no idea. Did you know if you live in Canada, next weekend is like Thanksgiving? And it's a long weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
We just had a long weekend.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we have a weird long weekend it starts on the Friday. It goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday instead of Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Do you guys have Thanksgiving?
No.
No?
No. Why would we?
I don't know. It's like a holiday.
Yeah, but we're not North America, so it would be weird.
Huh.
We had the Australian football finals, which I guess is our equivalent of the Super Bowl. So the state government have decided that you get the Friday before that off.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
We still have to record for like a couple more minutes because Cor was on my lap.
Okay. At least you're being honest this time. It's not like the other time when you just kept recording because you were waiting for your boyfriend to bring you breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, like, Yamamura goes mad when he looks at impurity, which suggests that he becomes a member of... What's the fucking story with this guy again? Yeah, he's like part of the League, but then it says he went mad when he looked into impurity. And then when you meet him, he's repeating a prayer, but it's a prayer about being a hunter of the church. So I don't know what the exact relationship is.
Well, he was a hunter of the church who joined the League and went mad.
But he's from, like, he's called Yamamura the Wanderer. The idea is he's, like, from nowhere near Yharnam. He just showed up, like, bolted it.
Well... Okay, well, he wandered into the church, became a church hunter, then joined the League.
Maybe. Yeah, it says here the hat... Oh, this is interesting. Hang on. You get Yamamura's hat, and the description of the hat says, this hat and staff were given to him when he became a hunter and confederate of the League, but you don't get the staff. So, like, I don't know if it's probably just a mistranslation where it's supposed to be like, this hat and a staff were given to him. But he doesn't give you a staff in game at all. So maybe he was going to drop the staff originally.
Or maybe he didn't like you enough to give you a staff.
Well, we do kill him. Yeah. Also, he's got the piercing rifle, so he probably had something to do with the Odo workshop, I guess.
Or maybe he stole it.
From who?
I don't know, whoever had it before. Tomorrow, same time, same place, maybe. Who knows?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
See how difficult it is?
Yeah. I understand now.
Okay.
Alright. Stop.
Bye-bye.